pelican with some very soft mangoes. A closet full of skeletons and terry cloth kangos.
Hey guys, it's Mango Kango here, and we're back with a Build Ideas 7 video, I believe. And yeah, by the time this gets out, I'm sure it's gonna be close to Valentine's Day or something like that. But yeah, I hope you guys really do enjoy these ideas. Some of them are simple, some of them are a little bit more complex. I kind of have a mix of things in here for this one. But yeah, let's get into the first one. Alright, and also before this starts, I want to stress that you should have your furniture collisions turned on, and remember how to use /hide and /show mode. These are important throughout the video. The commands look like this on screen. But yeah, just wanted to throw that in there so that there's no one's lost or anything like that. Alright, for the first one we're going to be building a little mini table, and this one is actually very simple. So you're going to want to place 2 of the stairs, and this is just so you can line stuff up properly. And then grab 2 modern chairs like this. They'll look kind of like this before you do anything to them. And you want them to face towards one another like this. And then you can grab 2 Ziyataku mirrors, and you're going to want to go in hide mode first. And flip them on their side and have it pushed 1 stud back away from the border of here. So it should look like this. And then the other one is going to fill in this side. So I'm gonna go in hide mode right away, and just like that. And as you can see, it's the same as it was on the other side, and you're done. Alright, so when you get back, this is what it will look like. Obviously the colors are probably not too standard, but you can color it whatever you want. You can do brown, and you know, just color the bottoms if you want to as well. The bottoms are gonna look a little strange, but no one's really looking under there. But regardless, it's a very simple, smooth, modern looking table. And yeah, I actually quite like it. You could also place like whatever knickknacks and stuff on top of it to give it a little bit more variety and stuff too. Alright, and for this next one we're doing a kind of another table, but it's like a tall small table, and I think it has a unique look to it. Alright, so first things first, we're gonna place the princess light here, just so that we know the general area of where we have to place the other stuff, because it does have to remain centered because this is grid locked. So you're going to want to place one like this, and then grab another one and face it the opposite direction like that. And now we can just color match, so I'm going to do white like that. And then you can also color these in between areas, so I will go with just a simple brown. Technically, I mean, you can make this white too, which looks kind of cool. Unfortunately, you can't color these. I've tried a lot, and it's kind of bogus that you can't color that, but oh well. It still doesn't look too bad, especially if that's the angle you're going for. So that looks pretty cool. It's definitely unique. Alright, and once again, you can place whatever you want that fits in that area. And yeah, it looks pretty nice. Alright, and then next up we have a beanbag made out of beans, which is kind of ironic, I suppose. But yeah, there's little beans that you can get in the game. They're uncommon. You can get them from presents, in case anyone was wondering. And they look like this right here. So yeah, the initial placements are actually quite simple, but to make it so you can sit in it is actually fairly difficult. So I'll do that towards the end if you were curious on how to do that. So first things first, you can spam rotate here and get him to lay on his side like this. And this will be your first placement here. Now, to collide objects, you can press C, or make sure you have your furniture collisions marked as present. And what this allows for you to do is press the C button, or if you're on mobile, they should be on the bottom for you. And one of them will make it so that you can do this, and then, you know, put it where you want it. And if that's too much, then you can go in hide mode and just do similar instructions to as what I'm doing right now. But to make things simple, I'm going to use the collision feature for this video. And you want the bean to face the opposite direction, and then you can press C. And if it's wrong like this, then no worries, just do it again and push it forward, and that looks correct to me. And both these hitboxes should be lined up directly with the side of the 2 block hitboxes. Alright, so next we need to get them on this rotation, like this, so the bean should be upside down like that. Alright, and then using the collision feature, we can go like this, And through trial and error you'll get it, but eventually you want it to look like this. Alright, and just like last time, get him in that, we're gonna do a similar position, so get him like this. And that doesn't look right, so... Alright, and there we go. And now you have kind of a soft, cushiony beanbag looking thing. Now, interestingly enough, after coloring it, so let's just color it like pink for now, right? This you can have out in the open and it still looks fairly normal. There will be eyes on the back end, but you can go the extra length and put a backside to it, which is also simple, but it adds a top part that you might want to hide with a wall. So I'll show you what I mean by that as well. So putting our markers back on each side, let's get our bean again and do the last one, the last two. So we're going to want it to sit, yeah, so it's going to be kind of in the block here, if that makes sense. So looking like that. And the last one you would place here. Now I've never had this happen during a build video before, but for some reason you can't place objects on this border line, which is weird, but it would go there. An example I have over here where it's filled in, and once you're done you can color it just like that. Now like I was saying before, if you remove these walls you get these little like top parts. Now maybe you like that, which in that case that's perfectly fine, and then the back looks a little bit more normal, so you can have it out in the open. But my personal opinion, I think it does look a little bit better if you put some walls on the back side like that. Then it kind of hides it more and it looks a lot nicer, a little bit more flush. Alright, but once you have this step done, you might be thinking, alright, well how do you get the chair in there, right? Because it makes so you can sit like this. It's not easy by any means. It involves a diagonal placement that is pretty difficult, but I'll lead you through it, so hopefully it makes it a little bit easier. So first we need to go in hide mode, and we need to get, you have to have the Victorian set as well, because we're going to be using this toilet for the seating for this one. And you're going to have a record player because we need a diagonal placement for this. You could try and wing it without the record player and use something else that makes things go diagonal, but it is pretty difficult as far as I'm aware. Okay, and you can place this wherever you want because you can rebound later anyway, so I'm going to place this here so that we have that angle ready to go. And you're going to need at least 2 dojo shells to get this angle correct, because you can't, it's really hard to get things to go directly on the ground when they're diagonal. As you can see, I'm pushing it down and it doesn't want to go down. Now there is a bypass to this, and if you flip it enough, you can get it to look like this. Now that little part that sticks below, as you can see, that's the part that we need facing down, and it's very important because that causes a little glitch situation, and when you rebound off of it, it goes lower than it's supposed to. So I'm going to place it here, which is the limit for it, but we can bypass it like I said, so we're going to do that. Alright, and as you can see, it lets us place it a little bit lower, and then you only need to do this like about 3 times or 4 times. So we got it again, can push it down another one, and now it should let us, yeah, and see, now it lets us place it on the ground. So now that this object is on the ground, anything that's locked onto it will also follow that rule, which is very interesting that that's how stuff works in this game. I wish it was a little bit easier, but unfortunately it is not. So as you can see, now the toilet will follow that ruling and go on the ground like it's supposed to at a diagonal angle. If you guys have easier ways to do this, you can let me know, and also I highly recommend that you do it that way, because just to get a seat in an area, this is kind of a pain in the butt realistically. So if you have easier ways, by all means do it your way. Okay, so we have our other toilet there, and again we're just rebounding these so that we can get it in this area. We want it to be center right there. So I'm going to take this away. You might be thinking, well, why do we need it to be diagonal while I'm doing this? Well, because the beanbag is diagonal and it would look a little strange if you weren't sitting diagonal, so I figured it's probably best to have a diagonal seating. Alright, and that placement looks correct. Obviously, as you could see, Even it took even a while for me to do it, so don't be demotivated by the fact that it may be a little bit difficult. But that's fairly where you want it, so kind of in the middle portion area here. And then we can go ahead and color it the color of our beanbag right away, as it may be difficult afterwards, so we're gonna do that. Alright, and as you can see, you get something like this. Now, this one's different, which I kind of figured this would happen, because all diagonal angles, they're hard to get to look the same, because when you rebound like that, it causes like half pixel movements and stuff like that that you wouldn't really expect from a normal movement. This one looks better, so just as an example for you guys, this one is way nicer looking. But here's the other one that we made, and this one actually isn't too bad either. A little bit square at the top, but I think even the sitting placement, if I can sit, yep, still works very well. Alright, and next up we have our big couch, or like cozy couch, I'll call it. So you're gonna want 3 of these right away, just so we can bounce off the back here. And you're gonna want 3 towels, so these will be our towels like this. So realistically, you can place these anywhere, given that the entire build is nothing's gridlocked. So you can place these there. You'll be able to color them later, so you don't have to worry about it right now, but if you are worried about it, you can color them. But we're gonna delete these right away, and now that we have the collision feature, it makes it very simple to do this. So again, if you're incorrect about it, like if this is wrong obviously, just do it again and move it back and press the button for the collision feature, and it works just like that. Now with this couch, I want to have a disclosure here. The back side, you're gonna have to have a wall here to create the illusion that obviously this stuff isn't back here. Okay, and there's our other one, and then we just need one more, just like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna color these right away. You might want to color these because it might be difficult later, especially with the wall there. I'm just gonna go with the gray palette for this one versus the red palette that we used before. And we're gonna want to, this is a little bit optional, but I'm gonna place these right here. Okay. And you can color it through there like that. And I'm gonna grab another one and place it right there. So now we have a little bit more curvature to the sides, even though they're gonna be mostly covered later, but again, we're gonna start out this way. Alright, and now we're going to do the little side, what do you call those? Armrests. Armrests. We're gonna do the armrests. So to do the armrests, again, we can use that collision feature, and it's that simple. So again, this isn't right. Move it one in, and you got it perfect. Again, this can all be done in hide mode, but I do stress that it will make it a little bit more complicated if not given the proper instructions. But if you're used to it, then be my guest and go ahead. Okay, and have our second one lined up like that, and color them accordingly. There is a little bit in here that you might want to color just to get that so it doesn't look weird. Alright, now believe it or not, we're actually almost done already. So we can grab 2 printers now, alright, and have them like this, rotated like this, and we can push these in. So we don't want it all the way back here, we want it actually pushed in one like this. And just have all the borders lined up like that on this side, as you can see. And again, it's going to be into that coffee machine a little bit, is a good reference. And you're going to want to do the same thing on the other side, like this. What you could do, if you don't want it to look so cushiony and you want it to be straight, you could put one in the middle. I'd imagine that would work perfectly fine. Yeah, like that, so it's just completely straight. But for this one, we're going to go with the kind of lumpy, cushiony look. So just color those white, and you get it to look like that. You can color the back too, I mean, you don't have to, no one's going to be looking at it, but yeah, there you go. Alright, and that's it pretty much done. If you want more variety on the back end, you're going to want futuristic coffee tables and just placing them in there like that. That's how I got that little random bit of color. This is unnecessary, but I do stress that it adds a very cool contrasting, as you can see with the proper colors, that does kind of add to the whole look. Alright, and for the last bit, you just want to make it so you can sit on it. Unless you don't care about sitting, then you can just skip this, but yeah, you only need two to align it up properly, and I'm just going to color one a different color. That way it makes it easier for me to differentiate the lining. So you're going to want to go in hide mode. And the reason we're using hide mode here is because we need to color these seats. I guess evidently maybe it would have been best to put these down prior to everything else. Okay, so you want it to be one back like this and lined up with this border right here on the first stair that I placed. So just like that. I'm just gonna do it white so that it matches everything else. Again, to get this top part white, you just gotta zoom in really close with your camera. There you go. Alright, so your other seat is gonna be over here, so make sure that you color these and make sure it sits the right way. Okay. And the last one's gonna go here, but we're gonna go in hide mode just so it's easier. I can't see what I'm typing. And again, these are all gonna be one stud away from the back, like that. And this is where you want it lined up with this one. So yeah, this seat will be a little bit closer. Like all the seats aren't going to be spaced perfectly, but regardless, it should look okay as you're sitting on them. You can go in show mode. Alright, and after that is done, as you can see, the chairs really blend in. You can't even really see that they're there. And you can sit here, sit there, and sit here. It's almost flush, so it looks really good. And to finish it off truly, let's go and place our wall on the back. And you can use the collision key or button or whatever, tap it, and you're able to do that. So now you can't really even tell. And it all fits within one wall. So if you want this on the wall and like have something on the other side, you can do that. Alright, and for this next one, we have like a little bar stool or like just normal stool in general for just like having it so you can have an area where you can eat and stuff like that. Now I must admit it is very strange we don't actually have a proper stool. I mean, we have this thing, but I mean, like, that's not a stool. We don't actually have a stool in this game yet. Unfortunately, the one I'm about to present you cannot sit in, but if you're going for an aesthetic look, it is definitely the way to go. So, for example, I'm just going to have this countertop here. I'll recolor it. Alright, and then you're going to want to grab your signs. And I'm just going to use these so that I don't interfere the collision that is needed to do this, if that makes sense. It'll make sense in a second. And you're going to need however many stools you want, ceiling fans. And I might be thinking, how the hell is a ceiling fan going to make a stool or even remotely look like one? But when you put it in the ground, it fully submerges itself, and if you have it at this level, it looks very nice as a stool. So that's how we're going to use it, and I'm just going to place it like this. As you can see, you have three little bar stool looking things, and you can color these, which is good. However, they only color in one straight color, so you can't do like bottom versus top. But for the time being, this is definitely very cool in my opinion. And here's a little sneak peek, but just to prove my point here that these do look good, here's a little example in my own house in the kitchen. So yeah, it's very nice. And for this next one, we're going to be doing a little cat tree, I believe is the technical term for it. Yeah, where the cats play on, that sort of thing. Now I do want to note, I did model a version of this and put it on the Discord as an example of what should be added to Pizza Place. And then Mimic, which is a very good builder, highly underrated. Some of you may know who he is. He ended up making one that looked very good as well. And I just kind of put my own little spin on things, and I wanted to make a video so that you guys knew how to make it as well. But I wanted one that didn't require you to have a wall in the back of it, so that you could use the wall that you have in your house, because I know that's important to some people. Alright, and for this one, since I want you to be able to place it anywhere in your home, I went for a different little take on it. I used the player accessory heads to get the cylinder that holds up the cat things. So I'm going to place the first one here. We can go in hide mode and place our second one, you want it to be one stud above like this, and then, you know, just kind of keep going. So we got 1, 2, and for this one, which is the third one, you're gonna want to equip this kitty teaser toy, which is an accessory in the catalog. I have the ID on screen this whole time, hopefully. And then we can go in hide mode again. So 1, 2, and 3. So this is our fourth one, and we're gonna want to go one more up, or at least in this example, we're going to, just like that. Alright, and go in hide mode again, and you're gonna want this to sit one down like that. And this is just the lamp, and this will kind of be the circle area for the cat bed thing. Alright, and go in hide mode again, and you're gonna want to grab a modern clock and rotate it flat. So 1, 2, right there. And then we can go in show mode, and we should have our first little pillar. Yep, so it'll look something like this, which at first looks a little strange, but as you color it, it'll look better. So let's go do that. You kind of have to do it from a distance, otherwise you end up equipping all that shenanigans. And then you can go ahead and color the little cat sitting area too if you want. The reason that clock is there is so that it looks like there's actually an area that the cat can sit in, otherwise it's just a little bit strange. Alright, and for the floor here, we can go in hide mode again and place one here. And if we use our command here or button, hide it like this, in hide mode you would just place it anywhere here as long as it's merging in there like that. Just to make it easier, I did it that way, but you can do this anywhere in the house that you want to. Okay, and we can recolor these tubbles to the color up here. So place a stair right here, and it should look like this. And then we're gonna place one on the corner here. So we're gonna go in hide mode, and again, any lengths tall is perfectly fine. Obviously it's your own cat thing, so it doesn't really need to retain to be in a certain way. So this one's gonna go right here, one stud away, and then one stud on the corner here. So the lines of border are going to look like this. Hopefully that makes sense. And we're going to color this. Alright, and we're gonna go in hide mode again and grab another towel like this. And just so you know, I want the like cushiony side facing the user. I only do that because I think that it looks better, but you don't have to do it that way. And you want this to be on the third stair row up and one over into this stair over here. So that relative placement is perfect. I'm going to color it. Alright, and you get something like this when you're done. Now you can get creative. You could place like a player head in there somewhere and get like a little cat on there. For me, I'm probably just going to make a very simple little cat like home thing that he can kind of go in. Maybe this is a little too small, but that's how I'm going to do it, like that. And boom, just like that, so you could like crawl in, snuggle in there or something. And to get that there, by the way, if anyone was wondering, I used the C key again to bypass collision. But yeah, I think this looks really, really cute. So if someone put this in their home, that'd be awesome. Alright, so this next one is going to be a nice little like shelf thing that you can put kind of anywhere in your house. And what makes this one different is that it has 3 definitive layers to it, and you'll see what I mean by that. But you've probably seen similar ones to this, but I don't think they've been done in this manner before. So instead of just placing these on top of each other like this, which still looks nice, you're missing a bottom one, and you know, it could look a little bit nicer if you're going for something different. So I'm going to, instead, we're going to flip this like this and put this one on top. So now we get something like this. And to fill in that middle area, we're going to go in hide mode. And you want to use the Ziotaku mirrors. And this is going to sit right there. So not anything too crazy lining up wise. And then your other one, you're gonna want it to be one stud away instead of like this, because you want to fill in that extra little gap like that. Now obviously we could get these colors to match a little bit better and I'll just go for a simple brown, and you're done. And it looks somehow a little bit nicer than the other one, I'm not gonna lie. And that's why I decided to include it in this video. And again, if you want to go in hide mode, you could get stuff on that second shelf. And yeah, you can just throw stuff on here, just like that. Alright, and for this last bit, I'm going to be demonstrating how to make a ventilation or fan type of thing for the wall, or technically you could put it on the ground too, wherever you wish to put it. So I'm going to put it up here, so we're going to place a block here, grab a pot, and we can rotate this on its side, just like this. So now that it's on its side, I'm going to place it on the wall, connected to it, and kind of color match it respectively. It doesn't have to be the same color as the wall. I'm just doing it that way for the example in this video. So just go in hide mode and grab a desk fan and place it one stud away from the wall. And you can color this right away. I'm just going to color this a dark gray to kind of match. And you can delete the block under it and go in /show mode. Alright, and you get something like that, which is pretty cool. Kind of just sits there and it looks like it's circulating air. This could be for a greenhouse or whatever. Obviously this doesn't line up perfectly. To do that it requires half stud measurements, which are pretty painful. So I wanted to make it as simple for you guys as possible, and you can hardly even notice it, especially if you're just walking around like this. It looks very, very nice. But yeah, hope you guys did enjoy the lineup of things for this one. Some of these were a lot different than I normally do, which is pretty cool to see. And yeah, it's getting a little harder to make new things, given that there's not really been a lot of furniture releases or anything like that either. So but regardless, I still try and think of ideas for this concept, but unfortunately if we don't continue to keep getting more things, there's only so much I can come up with. So yeah, that's why it's been a little bit harder to make videos revolving around that topic lately, in case anyone was wondering. Alright, and without further ado, see you guys in the next videos I have planned.
I got it cool.